Hello, I'm Gary Stearman. To my left is author, lecturer, Skywatch television personality Derek Gilbert. Hi, Derek.
Hi, Gary.
And to his left, our own Bob Ulrich. And we're here for a good reason, Bob.
We are. We're here today to tell you about the upcoming Blessed Hope Prophecy Forum, the first conference of its kind being held in Norman, Oklahoma, October 13th through 15th, 2017. We're now less than 4 months away from the big event. We are going to have a gigantic crowd literally descending on Norman, a crowd of prophecy lovers, people who are coming to hear about the Blessed Hope and just a myriad of other subjects. And Derek, Tom Horn is going to be with us and the whole Skywatch crew.
That's right. It's something we're really looking forward to for a couple of reasons. I mean, getting together with people who understand the importance of Bible prophecy, not only because it tells us what is coming, which is important, but because it's a way of confirming that the Word of God is true. We can document that prophecies that through natural means could never have been fulfilled. The prophecies of the coming Messiah, the prophecies of the restoration of Israel, and so forth, they confirm the accuracy and the authenticity of the Word of God. So we're looking forward to that. Josh Peck will be there. Of course, the one referred to around the office as the smart one, Sharon, she will be there as well. Tom and the whole crew. We're looking forward to being a part of this weekend.
The smart one. There's a ring of truth to that, isn't there?
There is a ring of truth. My father told me more than once, son, you married up. And he was right.
And of course, you're referring to your
yes.
lovely wife, Sharon, and she's always got something very interesting to say from not only a biblical view, but from a scientific view. I view this conference as happening at an absolutely perfect moment in time, given what's happening in the world today. We're seeing climactic events worldwide, Middle East, Far East, Europe, rumblings everywhere. Islam is rising. The people who study Bible prophecy, and that would include us and thousands of others, are very, very excited these days. And I think this conference, falling as it does, October 13th through 15th of this year, 2017, is coming at a perfect time. Bob, would you agree with that?
It does. It actually falls right on the Feast of Tabernacles. You know, this is an unusual conference. For one thing, there are 33 speakers appearing at the event. If you've ever been to a Bible prophecy conference, you probably realize how unusual that is. You just don't bring 33 people in from all over the world to come and speak. Where do they all go? But, we're going to probably have a minimum of 1,500 people there, maybe as many as 2,000 people. And I think what's attracting to them to this conference is the variety of people, the variety of subjects, the variety of topics and messages which are going to be released probably in the next 60 days. But, I made a little list and tried to organize who some of these speakers are. And, of course, we've got Gary Stearman, the host of Prophecy Watchers, Tom Horn, the CEO of Skywatch TV, and Derek, the host of Skywatch TV. But you go into some of the other subjects. You've got guys like L.A. Marzulli, Tim Alberino, Michael Lake. I call these guys the archaeological researchers. Right. Right now, Tim and L.A. are over in Peru. And of course, Tim just came back from the island of Sardinia.
Right.
And I can't wait to see his presentation at the conference, because what Tim told us when he was here, not only was he followed from the minute he landed on the island, but he literally talked to some of the elderly people on the island who had all witnessed the uncovering of these huge, gigantic skeletons that were hauled away and disappeared into the night. And so we've got solid theology, we've got solid Bible prophecy teaching, but I know a lot of people really enjoy the biblical archaeology and some of the adventures that some of these people are bringing to the table.
It's really a treat for people who want to dig deeper, who really want to know and understand what the Bible tells us, what God left for us through His Word. I have never... In fact, Sharon and I talked about this after one of the previous conferences, where we marveled at how people studying Bible prophecy, which warns us of dangerous times to come. There will be times of tribulation ahead, before the rapture. I mean, Jesus told those who would follow Him that they would suffer tribulation. I mean, we knew this job was dangerous when we took it, Sure. But the sense of joy and camaraderie at these conferences, because people are getting together with others of like mind who understand that we're living in momentous times, historic times.
And you bring a thought to mind, too, if I can interrupt. Paul said that in the last days perilous times shall come, for men shall be lovers of their own selves.
Right.
Do we not see that on all of our transmission media these days? Motion pictures, video, satellite, cable. The image that recurs over and over again is men just totally wallowing in self-love. Well, that's what Paul said it would be like in the last days. And you sort of reminded me of that. And that, Bob, there are going to be people speaking to the idea of societal changes that are going on right now.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because one of the great benefits of attending a prophecy conference is the people you're going to meet. 2,000 people all in this magnificent Embassy Suites Hotel and Conference Center is just the start. The relationships that are formed at the conference. I mean, imagine walking down the hallway and there's Tom Horn sitting at the book table. Right. There's Gary Stearman. There's L.A. Marzulli. I mean, all these people who you've seen on television and you've read their books, but you never got to meet them. You're going to be able to literally sit down and, in some cases, actually have lunch or dinner with these people. They're very open. They're there to to meet and to greet the people and to share the testimonies we have together. Now, the name of our conference is the Blessed Hope Prophecy Forum. I want you to talk a little bit, Gary, about the rapture of the church, which is going to be a highlight. It's a day we've been looking forward to for a long time. We're kind of coming to a culmination of current events and world events that have a lot of us just thinking, boy, how much longer can it be before the Lord returns? And we've got a collection of really quality teachers, Bible teachers on that subject.
Well, and when Paul wrote to Titus, 2:13 is a chapter and verse, and the phrase "looking for that blessed hope" looms large in that epistle. And what does that mean? Well, the blessed hope is the singular event of Christendom. At the time when the body of Christ will be lifted up en masse to be glorified. And all of the events leading into the kingdom age will take place after that. And there are so many of us now saying we've got to be living at the time of that event. I mean, which sounds strange, because the event itself is so huge that you can hardly get your mind around it. But we have people, for example, Dr. Andrew Woods, we call him Andy. Andy Woods has written about the one verse in the New Testament that proves the pre-trib rapture. He's going to be speaking on that. And Bob, when Andy speaks, people listen.
Fascinating study. Billy Crone is going to be with us at the event, and Billy literally traveled over to Europe, over to Scotland, over to the UK, to literally search out the roots of the pre-tribulation rapture, the roots of the pre-wrath rapture doctrine. And he did a fabulous job, literally traveling the world to actually get to the bottom of a lot of the controversy that exists in the world today. Bill Salas is going to be with us. Of course, Bill is teaching now about a gap that exists between the rapture of the church and the beginning of the tribulation, which is a really pretty fascinating study.
It's fascinating, and it's also being discussed, quote unquote. Sometimes rather emotionally discussed. And this is the beautiful part about Bible prophecy in the day in which we live. It's not static. People are discussing new ideas. There's a lot of passion, a lot of emotion, a lot of give and take. And I think that excitement gives us a clue as to what the time is, don't you?
Mm. And let's not forget Tommy Ice, and let's not forget Terry James. I mean, these are two longtime defenders of the Blessed Hope. They're going to be with us at the event. In fact, if you look at the list of names on their website at prophecywatchers.com, you're just going to sit there thinking, I know this guy, I know this guy, I know this girl. Sharon Gilbert's going to be with us. Claudia Koenig is going to be with us, teaching about how you can use Bible prophecy as a witnessing tool to win the lost in what we think are the last days.
One of the joys that I've had of my adult life over the last 5 years of knowing you gentlemen has been the opportunity, the privilege of interviewing most of the speakers who will be in attendance at this conference. Now, there are some who I have not met yet, but am aware of and look very much forward to meeting. Mm-hmm. But some of the most fascinating conversations that Sharon and I have had over the past 5 years has been talking with men like Tommy Ice. Of course, every time we talk to Bill Salas, it's an education. Danny Ben-Gigi, just so many fascinating scholars and thinkers. We've come to know and become friends with people like Dr. Michael Lake, who lives near us in the Ozarks, L.A. Marzulli and Tim Alberino with what they've been researching in a very hands-on way.
Yes.
It is, and Ken Johnson, who's very soft-spoken, but is a very deep thinker. He is somebody that people should know more than they do. And I know you appreciate his work.
Oh, yeah. Ken is the quiet man.
Yes.
But when he speaks quietly, you better be listening. There's a lot in what he says. And you know, Bob, what I was thinking a minute ago, how would you like to shake hands with somebody that's been to the top of Mount Ararat, not once, but several times?
Oh, yes.
He's going to be there.
Randall Price.
That's it.
Literally an archaeology and Bible scholar legend. Randall just came back from Israel, where he's exploring more of the caves at Qumran, where they found the Dead Sea Scrolls. And he believes there are more scrolls there. The scrolls have actually, or the caves have actually been raided, by thieves over the years. But Randall's going back. He claims there are literally dozens of more unexplored caves right in the Qumran vicinity.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Those are the exciting things. Now, you mentioned Ken Johnson, and I want to tell you a little tidbit about Ken. Ken has been researching and documenting some of the ancient lost scrolls, the historical scrolls. And Ken has a new scroll out now. We're going to have Ken in the studio soon. But the scroll actually identifies a really historic sign of the very last days in time. Do you know one of the scrolls Ken has translated now is predicting that when Russia gets involved in the Middle East with Syria, that is the time to start looking for Jesus. And when I got that, I literally had a chill go down my spine, because
Yes.
just this morning, just
Yes.
yesterday, we see the United States shooting down a Syrian plane, and Russia threatening anyone who gets in the air in the Middle East now. So we have a situation that's coming to a head that I'm not sure can go much longer without a powder keg literally exploding.
One of the things that really fascinated me during my research for the book, The Great Inception, was looking at the history of a people group called the Amorites, one of the groups of people that Joshua had to push out of Canaan
Yes.
to establish the Holy Land. And the area controlled by the Islamic State today, that middle Euphrates region from the Iraqi border up to Raqqa, which was just taken by the Syrian Free Army, was the core territory of the Amorites, these people who believed that, their kings anyway, apparently believed that they were descended from the old gods of the Greeks, the Titans, the Watchers of Genesis 6. So I'm not sure there's a coincidence there.
You think we're going to hear about that at the conference?
Yeah.
We've also got the filmmakers with us. Tim Mahoney, who made the film that appeared in the theaters, Patterns of Evidence, is going to be with us. Brent Miller and his son, Brent Jr., just produced The Coming Convergence. Both father and son are going to be with us, two absolutely fascinating guys who always have something interesting to talk about the end days. So you go down the list and you start reading these names, and I'm sitting here thinking, how can you leave David Hawking out of a conversation, or J.D. Farag? I mean, these guys, are stalwarts. I mean, David has been around for what, 30, 40 years, teaching on Israel, teaching on prophecy. Gary Frazier, Ron Rhodes, you have many of their books, you've seen their studies. These are just fascinating men who are all going to be sharing different messages with us.
And great personalities. For example, like Jeff Kinley, who is not only a great writer, but he's a great personality. And Pastor Tom Hughes from the 412 Church in San Jacinto, California. He's always got something to say. And the thing I like about Pastor Tom is that he pastors a very large church, which has recently reawakened itself to the study of Bible prophecy. That's rare, Bob. Churches are not studying Bible prophecy today.
Tom packs his church out every Sunday night, not a seat to be had, because he teaches on Bible prophecy on Sunday evenings. And if you teach it, they will come.
And they do.
Danny Ben-Gigi from Hebrew World is going to be with us, and Danny is going to be teaching Hebrew lessons to anyone who wants to come and learn Hebrew. I sat in Danny's home a few months ago, and he sat down on his computer and showed me this Hebrew teaching program he's recently created. And literally within 20 to 30 minutes, I knew the entire Hebrew alphabet. I could pronounce the sounds. He has a whole system of teaching that he incorporated when he was a professor at Arizona State University that he's now put onto a DVD and a learning course. So if you've ever wanted to learn the basics of Hebrew, come to our conference and you can learn it for free.
October 13th through 15th, 2017. right here in Oklahoma. By the way, Oklahoma in October is beautiful. It's our best time of the year weather-wise. There's going to be a lot of excitement, a lot to see, a lot to share. And I have a sneaking suspicion, Bob, that if we haven't been taken up before that time, that's going to be all the talk, because the world is not flattening out. The curve is steepening as we go into the end times. And I would just like to leave you with that thought. Guys, it's been great.
My honor.
October 13th through 15th. You can register for the event at prophecywatchers.com. It is Indian summer in Oklahoma. It's the most beautiful time of the year. We promise no tornadoes, no hail, no black ice, no windstorms. September, October is a beautiful country.
It is.
Beautiful time in Norman. I want to mention, too, we have a fabulous dinosaur museum at the campus of OU University. Literally a world-class museum that I toured at your advice just a few months ago. And it's not just fake bones of dinosaurs.
Oh, no.
It's a collection of some of the oldest, rarest dinosaurs. In fact, I'll show you some pictures on my phone when we get done that literally will terrify small children.
Oh, cool. But I know some small children that would just love to be there. We're talking about Josh Peck's.
Five
Josh
minutes.
Peck's daughter, Jacqueline, is a dinosaur expert. So now for sure, the Peck kids are going to be coming with us. That's going to be awesome.
Well,
and I'll be right there with them.
We have some world-class facilities in here in Oklahoma. When you see it, you're not going to believe some of the attractions we have for you to see.
The Blessed Hope Prophecy Forum, October 13th through 15th, 2017. I hope to see you there. I'm Gary Stearman. You keep watching. We are. Thanks for joining us on Prophecy Watchers. You can find us on the web at prophecywatchers.com, where you can sign up for our free email newsletter, or follow us at facebook.com/prophecywatchers. In the meantime, keep watching, everybody, and we'll see you soon.